All right, we are at about 30 seconds to the start of our first of 6 semifinal runs here in Puerto Banús. And the boats now starting to come out of the milling area. And once they hit 30 seconds, they can then go around the first marker cone and take the run. And of course, it all comes down to having max speed built by the time you get to that start line. And we are there. Bows out. We are racing for the first time here in Puerto Banús. And the question here in the early going, Shirley, is in these rough seas, do you actually want to be in the wake of the boat? Does that calm things down? Look at that. Catching complete air up on the front of this fabulous action we're seeing here. This is incredible.
Catching air is not what you want. You want to keep the foils in the water. That is so difficult, these conditions.
And again, up front right now, it is Brazil and Timmy Hansen. He did this in Venice in that first semifinal. He got a great launch, timed it to perfection, and then absolutely checked out. We'll see whether he's going to be able to maintain this. And look at that ride as they, at this point, they're turning right into the swell, aren't they?
Yeah, but now the waves are behind them. It should get easier as they turn here and they head back towards the village.
This is just spectacular stuff, but this is so different than we saw in Venice. You know, obviously we had some rough chop at occasion in Venice, but we didn't have the swells like this, and that exaggerates everything. And right now, Brazil, Timmy Hansen out in front. Then it's about 4 seconds back to Chris Ladaraga there in the Team Rafa boat, and then it is Drogba with Oban Duncan in third. And I think this is a little bit of a surprise to see Oban Duncan back in that spot. She has been so good with such great speed here, but we still have plenty of time to go. They're just completing the first of 4 laps.
Poor start by Oban Duncan. Now really trying to catch up, but the sea is so confused and she's right in. Look at all that white water. It's so hard to escape from that. She's trying really hard to get in some clean space.
And one of the things now, we have Chris Ladaraga for Team Rafa up on the boost and getting ready to get after it here. So first out front, it is Hansen, has been the fastest in the second 2 sectors, doing a really nice job and just driving away from everybody right now for Marcelo Claret's Team Brazil, doing an absolutely superb job. They come by the start line, then they've got this little S section where they bob to the left, then back to the right, and now you get into these turns, and you can see as you turn in, if a swell hits at just the wrong moments, it so unsettles the boat, Shirley.
If you're watching the graphics at the top of the screen, you sometimes see boost. Now they have an option to press the boost button. It gives you 25% more power. It's a really powerful thing to use. It lasts for 20 seconds, so you've got to pick your moments when you want to use it.
And we saw it on Venice on much smoother water when you were at top speed and then you boosted, it would almost make things a little unstable. So for this, with this kind of choppy water and the swells, would they be more using it probably coming out of corners?
I think so. When they're flat and comfortable, you know, the faster you go, the more unstable the platform is. So it's high risk, but you want to be winning here. You know, the winner goes through to the final. You've got to take some risks. And Team Brazil, wow, it's a masterclass at the moment. Yeah,
they are up by 8 seconds right now, but this battle for second is extremely good. So close right now between Chris Ladaraga for Rafa and Oban Duncan for Drogba. I mean, they are pretty much side by side. And okay, here we go. Our first long lap is Chris Ladaraga has opted to do the long lap. And we were seeing the long lap at about 10 seconds in Venice. Here the reports are it could be as long as 20 seconds. One, the length is more, there's more room here. And two, it's just slower because of how these seas and the swells are. I have to see what happens when she gets back to the merge. We can get a little bit better read because the gap was virtually identical when she set off on it. And we just got the update right now. And yeah, she's dropped off now by about another 14 seconds at this point.
Lovely smooth turn here by Timmy Hansen. I mean, he didn't look anything in qualifying, but they've had a bit of time now. There's been a few hours. There would have been a lot of analysis. And if you look at the right-hand bottom corner, you can see a little bit of telemetry and going reasonably quick. Top speeds are 15 knots, which is about 80 kilometers. So they're not hitting top speeds, but the priority here is to keep the boat up in the air, to keep flying, keep as stable a platform as you can, even although your track, the sea, is a complete jumble, and he is doing a great job.
Yeah, he is. And as you were talking, I was watching the boost, and he did exactly what we were talking about. As soon as he squared up out of that corner, went right to the boost, used it up there. Once you hit the boost and it drains, you got to wait 40 seconds to get it back again. So as you said, you pick your spots, and he's just driving brilliantly right now. I mean, his second lap was a 157.2, best of the lap so far. Oban Duncan went a 159.6, and Chris Ladaraga, obviously, with that long lap, went a 2:12. So it's about 15 seconds as we hop on board with Team Brazil. And they now, Timmy Hansen, smart move. He had a nice little lead built up. He's going for the long lap, but I don't know. This is going to be awfully close. Is Drogba going to join him at the merge and put Timmy in some rough water? He may have just done that, and that's what Hansen did. So a great job there by Oban Duncan, as now it looks to me like Hansen's going to have to deal with that choppy water.
Great move by the young pilot, 18 years old, from Scotland, and strategically, you know, now quite strong. She's in clear air, clear water, you know, clear waves. She does, though, still have the long lap, so she's not leading this race per se.
No, but she just set fastest lap in the race at a 1:56.323. And there is a point now starting in the semifinals. It'll be in the place race in the finals where fast lap makes a difference. Right here, it's just important to get the win. And her margin now is about 5 seconds, and she has to do that long lap, as does, I believe, no, I think she's the only one now that needs to get it. Oh, look at that! Climbing up and hitting that swell at just the wrong moment for Timmy Hansen. And now we're going to see, can Oban Duncan do that long lap and hang on to it here? Boy, this is where your strategy choice, well, it's pretty clear when it ends, doesn't it? Boy, and you can hear just the hulls as they bang down onto that water. And every time you hear that thud, that's drag. It slows the racebird down dramatically, yes?
And the pilots feel it. I mean, you hear it, you feel it. Oh, it's so slow. I mean, they can alter the trim of the boat so they can have it so that the bow is further up. So if they see a big wave coming, you know, they can alter it and they can get the bow down again. But it's so hard to anticipate. And Oban Duncan off for her long lap here.
Oh, this is going to be an absolute drag race to the end here. It doesn't look like Oban is going to be able to stay with it, but look how close it is for the other teams. Hansen for Team Brazil, Ladaraga for Rafa, and right off the corner here, what a tremendous run. Timmy Hansen dropping the hammer on the boost, and he is going to be coming to the line, and looks like he is going to gain a nice win. But look at the battle for second, and now up on the boost, here comes. Oh, it's going to be a drag race, so close to call. Let's see what the margin was. And it goes to Chris Ladaraga for Team Rafa by 1/10 of a second after 4 laps on this track. That battle for second, exceptionally close, Shirley.
Oh. We didn't think it was going to be that close, and all of a sudden, there they were all together. I mean, a great second half of the last lap from Chris. I mean, fantastic. She is a real competitor. A jet skier, you know, used to racing hard, and she didn't give up for a second. And that second could really be valuable.
All right, yes, absolutely. Those time differences, they make a big difference. Now, each time you know, where you finish, you are awarded points. And it is after the second round of semifinals are complete, the points are tallied for each team. And that determines who goes straight to the final, who goes to the place race. And here's the story in this, a little bit of a change from Venice. The 9th team in these semifinal counts will be eliminated. So, all right, Shirley, we're going to be able to chat with our Lane 1 winners.